Hey YouTube, it's Riley. I want to make a video specifically talking about being a transgender athlete because I feel like it's really important and there aren't that many videos out there because there's not too many of us, but if you are a trans athlete, hopefully this can help you out a little bit. I'm still kind of new to being like out in the athletic world and I haven't started my season yet officially out, but I've actually talked to a couple of my teammates in the past couple of days and came out to them and things are going pretty well. But I want to talk about specifically like how hard it is to not be able to transition, which is something I'm really struggling with right now because I would love to start taking testosterone and I would start to love like looking into having my top surgery done and all that kind of stuff because I'm being an athlete, my body is really, really, really important to me, and the fact that it doesn't like kind of link up with my brain is pretty hard. Losing my voice right now. So I'm really struggling with that, and I actually the other day kind of had a breakdown and was like, what is track worth it for me at this point? Do I want to transition now? Because I mean, I can't transition right away because I haven't been out long enough, and I actually am just gonna start my gender therapy in a couple of weeks. But I was really struggling. Like, is my season gonna be worth it for me? Like going through the struggles and just thinking I won't have the body I want for probably the next 5 to 6 years, and that's really hard to think about. And for me, all came down to kind of weighing it out and saying, all right, I mean, it could be for any sport, not just track, but track is my sport, so I'm gonna kind of relate that to that because that's all I know. So for me, I was like, what does pole vaulting mean to me? All right, what does being trans mean to me? And I mean, there's a lot you could do to transition to be living as a male without having testosterone or surgery, but it's definitely not the same. And I feel like I don't pass all that well, especially not being out to my family and whatnot. It's pretty difficult. I actually passed a little bit. I was in Maine this past weekend on vacation and ended up passing a lot more than I thought I would. But I'm not passing as much as I would like to. And I think that has a lot to do with not only my family, but like how I'm seen. And I'm from a really small town and not everybody knows. So that's pretty hard. But starting this season, I am identifying as a male competing on a female team. And it's going to be really hard. And for a while, I toyed with the idea that maybe it was just time to give up track in general. But the more I think about that, the worse I get. And a lot of people will tell you, especially when you're going through a hard time like this, you need to have an outlet. And it just so happens that like my outlet is what kind of impedes my progress of transitioning. So it's kind of just like a neutral because it's not helping me, er, it's not that it's not helping me because it's helping me feel better because like when I'm out there and I'm running and I'm doing what I want to do, I feel great. But then again, like it's also not letting me transition because I can't compete once I start my transition, and that's really hard to think about. One of the ways I kind of got myself on a good track is I just scheduled everything out and was like, all right, so I have 4 years here, and since I redshirted my first semester, I have another semester I can compete in grad school on track. So I'm gonna actually end up being able to compete wherever I go to school. So I like kind of planned it out, and I was like, all right. So after that, after that year when I'm done, I'm gonna start T. And after when I have the money after starting T, like I'm gonna go get my top surgery. And I like that's kind of I'm planning all that out. I'm gonna do more of that with my therapist in a couple of weeks, which I'm looking forward to, especially because I mean, I have a lot of good mentors and a lot of guys who are giving me really good guidance, but I kind of feel like I need a little bit more. Especially, I have a really bad anger problem. I mean, it's got a lot better in the past couple years, but especially over the summer when I'm not exercising as much as I am during the school year. Like during the school year, I am go go go. There's like no break. It's class, study hall, practice, class, dinner, sleep. Like, there's not too much of a break for me to kind of get my head in not a good place. So I'm fine because I'm running all the time and I have that outlet to get rid of my anger. And I know a lot of trans guys who actually have anger and depression problems, and I mean, I'm right up there. But for me, if I'm feeling really down, I can just go run. And when I'm running, I I don't care how people see me, and I don't care the way people look at me. And I think that's a really big step up from where I was, because walking down the road every day, I'm like, oh my God, what do these people think? How do they see me? How do I want them to see me? But track, like, the second I have my jersey on and I'm out there, it doesn't matter. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing something I'm really good at, and something that I'm proud of. I don't care if I'm seen as a male or a female, or if I'm judged based on my appearance, because in reality I'm not. I'm judged on my performance, and I don't want to let something like worrying about how my teammates and how my opponents see me ruin a good season for me. And I think that's a really strong point of view to have, because in the end, you have your whole life to transition if you're an athlete. You don't have your whole life to play your sport. I mean, if you can coach, but if you miss those college years, you're always going to look back and say, well, why didn't I wait? Why couldn't I have waited? And I know for me, like, I don't want to wait. I'm the most impatient person in the whole world. But I think that waiting will also make it that much better when I can start to transition, and when I can actually get my first shot at tea. I can be like, I waited for this. I earned this. I put in like so much work and so much time, and I think that's really important to just have like a sense of value and pride. And like, yeah, I mean, I'm sad that I can't have the best of both worlds, but that's how it is. And for me, like, track is my number one love. And as much as I'd like to just be a complete male in society, I'm okay with waiting because of how much my sport means to me. I know a lot of people out there feel the same. There's a ton of guys who you can find in a lot of different sports. Maybe not a lot of them aren't like college level, but there's still guys out there. And I really hope that one day, like, things can be changed. Right now, the rule to compete in the Olympics is you have to have top bottom surgery and be on T for 2 years. And like, that's pretty. I mean, top surgery alone is a fortune. Bottom surgery is outrageous, and testosterone for 2 years. You're not going to find that many athletes who are in the college level about to move up to maybe a professional level who are at that point. So it's really difficult, and hopefully I know there's a lot of guys working on getting the rules changed, because I don't think what's in my pants should matter on my performance. If I have the same amount of testosterone in my body as any other guy, I should be allowed to compete as a male. If I can keep up with all those other guys out there, I think there's nothing that should stop me from competing as a male. So we'll see where everything goes. I'd actually really like to get involved in some trans athletic groups, and spreading the word and letting people know, like, we're here, and like, this is what's up, and this is what we should do, and these are how the rules should be changed, because it's not fair right now, and hopefully one day it can be different. There's a lot of other articles about some guys who have competed in not Olympics. I don't actually think there's any guys who have gotten that far, but there are a lot of guys who have qualified. Keelan Godsey, he's awesome. I actually got to Facebook message him a little bit. He was one of the first transgender athletes for track. He might have been the first. I'm not really sure. But definitely like a great role model. There's a whole Sports Illustrated article on it, and it's really good. So if you guys read it, just Google it. It'll definitely come up. Definitely worth it. There's a YouTube video out there. But alright, I'm going to cut this one short because got to get back to doing some stuff. I'm actually, give you guys a quick life update. Cleaning out my closet, getting rid of all of my female clothes. I went shopping, bought a ton of male clothes. This week I am buying my packer and my STP. Still binding, kind of just updating like my wardrobe, and all my close friends at this point know about me. I'm working on getting a name change by Christmas next year and being out at work too. So, I mean, we're going to see where that goes. So right now things are on a pretty solid track for me though. So, thanks YouTube. Link to my Tumblr will be down there. I'll also see if I can post a link to the Transgender Athlete article, which is definitely worth reading. So, alright. Thanks guys.